This is a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. And before you think that this is just a stretched Grand Cherokee, you want to watch this. This new Grand Cherokee L is a completely different vehicle than the regular Grand Cherokee. Not only is it bigger, but this is built off a different platform, and it has the new Grand Cherokee style, which you'll see coming up probably in the future 2022 Grand Cherokee. So you can see this hood is nice and flat, and it's kind of extended all the way out. It's the top of it almost seems like it's pointed out, kind of like a shark nose a little bit. Of course, you have the familiar 7-slot Jeep grille. These slots are wide though, wider than normal. I like these big chrome shiny tow hooks, and you get these slim LEDs here on the new Grand Cherokee L now. It really is a nice, modern, fresh, new style. You know, the Grand Cherokee was one of the original SUVs out there, especially the luxury department, and they've really done a good number on this one here. So dimensions-wise, of course, it's longer. The wheelbase is 7 inches longer. The entire length of the vehicle is 15 inches longer, and the tracks have been widened for the front and the back, so the vehicle is 2.2 inches wider as well. And because of the extended wheelbase, you can add a third row in this L version. Now, I really think that the Grand Cherokee really needed this L model because, you know, they've been always popular, but they were kind of missing out on the third row market. There's so many competitors out there now, so good on them for that. We got 20-inch wheels on this one. This happens to be the Overland edition. Opening up the fuel filler, we have a capless fuel filler, and this takes regular fuel. Bonus there, this is the 3.6-liter Pentastar. And onto the back. The styling of the back mimics the front end. It's nice and fresh and modern. You know what? I'm not usually a fan of a lot of chrome, but this chrome on this Overland works really well. You have the nice sweeping door frames that just continue on and just have this nice sweeping line right across the back. You have the chrome above the bumper here, the chrome exhaust finishers. It works, especially with this color here on this Grand Cherokee L. So you have these slim LED tail lamps. Once again, that kind of mimics the front as well. So nice and cohesive. This L actually has 2 cameras. You have the backup camera right by the handle here, and for the first time in a Jeep, you actually have a digital rear view mirror as well, and that's where the camera here is. And the nice thing about it, both these cameras actually have washers on them, so when they get dirty, you can wash that. There's also a front camera on this as well. So you have a power liftgate. It is hands-free as well if you choose. Up it comes. Now, one thing this does not have, it does not have a locking button like some vehicles do, so you just hit that power lock button, walk away, and when it closes, it'll lock the doors. This one doesn't have it, nor does it have auto lock, not that I could find, so that would be a nice addition. Here's our handy dandy travel trunk, so you can see it does fit easily in behind the third row here. Almost. You know what, if I really stretch it, maybe not. Maybe not upright, but you could always fold down the third row. Now, to fold down the third row or the second row, there are controls right on the right side here. So that is power operated, so that's also very nice. And when you do fold them down, you do get a lot more room, obviously. So you have more room than the regular Grand Cherokee, and you have a nice flat area when they're all folded down. These rear seats house 2 passengers, by the way, and it's a 50-50 split. So if you want to put this in, you can see how much room is there. If we lift up the bottom, there is a storage compartment here, and there is a jack there as well. So quite a bit of storage. You also have some hooks here for some grocery bags. Let's take a look inside. And just like that, another rainy day on the West Coast, and we have the family together. This is our last day with the Grand Cherokee L. Now, sometimes Cynthia does jump in and help out with reviews. However, on this one, she's still welcome to jump in. However, she has not driven this vehicle, and in fact, this is the first time she's been in here. So,
for 2 minutes.
Yeah, for 2 minutes. So whatever her impressions are very, very short. Okay, so let's talk about some of the features on this vehicle. Well, the interior is all new, and it's quite stunning. You have open pore wood. You have this amazing head-up display available in this one here, and then we have a digital cockpit in behind the steering wheel, and this one is equipped with the night vision as well, and it is really cool. Here are a couple images of the night vision, and what it does is when it gets dark, it'll highlight actual living things, so, and it just brings it up in yellow, so even if someone's like hiding behind a bush, it'll actually pick it up. So yeah,
impressive.
It is very, very impressive. Standard is an 8.4-inch Uconnect screen, or you get the optional 10.1-inch that we have here. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That's pretty well standard nowadays. You get the backup cameras, I mentioned those already, with the washers, which is cool. One thing that it does have, though, if we go into vehicle, all right, also want to mention one thing. This, I'm a fan of the Uconnect system. This latest one in this vehicle is a little bit on the sluggish side. I have to admit, it's not as snappy as what I've grown to know. So there's a fam cam, and I was wondering if they have that, because the Chrysler products have that in the Pacifica, for instance. And when you have 3 rows, it's really good to see what's going on. So you have on the left side, I can see what's happening in the second and third row, and then on the right side, I can actually zoom in or pinpoint a particular seat, and that's really nice. And this is nice also if you have a child or an infant and you're driving by yourself and you want to check on them quickly without having to pull over or something like that, or actually look back, you can access that fam cam there. Nice ventilated, heated seats. You got a heated steering wheel. This also has massaging seats. All right. However, just like most vehicles that have massaging seats, it's not that strong. I would really wish that it was actually a little bit stronger than what it is. I have it on high right now, but hey, it is definitely better than nothing. You have memory settings. I mentioned the head-up display, and that is a first for a Jeep as well, the digital mirror. So if you have a whole bunch of people in here, or you're loaded to the max with boxes, you can turn on that mirror. That's that separate camera in the rear. It's really, really nice. Okay, they want to keep the mirror on because they can even see with this mirror what's happening behind, and all we're seeing is a lot of rain. Cynthia, I just have to ask you, in your few minutes in here, what do you think of this interior?
Just really spacious, not only on the length, also the wideness. So it almost in a way, I know this is an upgraded 10.1 screen in the middle, but almost need, it definitely can go bigger.
You can always go bigger, right? So another very unique feature of this vehicle, it actually has a Macintosh stereo system. So for those who aren't audiophiles, Macintosh is a very, very famous high-end audio maker, and they've worked themselves into car audio now. So you can see the nice Macintosh symbol there. And one thing that I've noticed on this new front display here, the center display, the buttons, let's say on the top you have your lane departure off and your hazard buttons and your parking assistance. Those buttons are basically flat. And then the ones below your HVAC, your heating controls, are really, really straight up and down, and they're kind of hard to see. Like, you have the actual knobs and the toggles that are blocking your buttons, and I have my seat as low as it goes. So I wish that they'd actually just angle them a little bit so you can see them a little bit better. Then we get to the back seats. This one is equipped with a bench seat. You can also get 2 captain's chairs for the second row as well, and they actually fold down nice and flat if you need extra room, but they also slide forward and backward for more room as well. So lots of room. Now, even if you compare this with the Grand Cherokee, not the L, just the 2-row, this, even with the added 3rd row, you get more room for the second row. which is a big bonus. Now, getting to the third row, it's not too difficult. Here's a shot of Cynthia getting into that third row, and yeah, this is not a small vehicle. This is, I wouldn't say this is, I'm going to say like this is mid full size, because the full size is coming out soon, and that's going to be the new Jeep Wagoneer and the Grand Wagoneer, and that's built off of the Ram platform. But this is definitely larger than a mid-size. Let's say you know, a Highlander or a Pathfinder. It's quite a bit larger than that. So it's kind of in the middle, and I think that it was really time for Jeep to step up and put a 3-row. The Grand Cherokee has always been a well-known premium SUV, and they really have been missing out, I think, by not having that 3-row. We mentioned that earlier as well. Under the hood, the 3.8-liter V6 Pentastar engine that puts out 290 horsepower and 257 pound-feet of torque. That's matched to an 8-speed automatic transmission. If you go with the Pentastar, you get 6,200 pounds of towing capacity. There is an optional 5.7-liter V8 Hemi if you do want the maximum in towing capacity, and that will tow up to 7,200 pounds. So if you have something really, really big, you know, go for that. But otherwise, this is more than capable. A couple things I've noticed on here is that transmission. I find it a little bit rough at basically in the earlier gears, like first and second. When you transition first, second, it's a little bit abrupt, and sometimes gearing down as well. Fuel economy wise, this is a large vehicle, so you are working this engine quite a bit, and we are averaging about 15.9 liters per 100K in mixed highway and city driving. Not the greatest, but it's about average definitely for a vehicle this size. Would it be nice to be better? Absolutely. All right, since it's a Jeep, it's very capable off-road. Of course it is. This is equipped with the Quadra Lift system. You have an air suspension on this. It's adaptive as well, and it's automatic. You can set it so it's automatic, or you can actually lift the vehicle by itself. We're on the highway right now, and at highway speed, it'll actually lower itself down for aerodynamics. You can actually go all the way up to level 2 off-road, which you'll get an additional like almost 2.5 inches of a lift compared to the normal ride height. Now that will automatically go down depending on how fast you're going. If you go too fast, it will automatically go down. But it does provide a really nice cushiony ride. Off-road settings consist of rock, sand and mud, snow, automatic of course, and you have sport mode as well. Right now we're just in auto, and that's perfectly fine. Now on the highway, we do have basically it's a hands-on autonomous system. So if we actually hit the button on this new multifunction steering wheel, by the way, and we set it, we have our active driving assist on right now, and you have these really bright green chevrons on either side, so it's really easy to see that it is active right now. So you have a steering assist, but if I do take my hands off, I get the yellow or orange warning. I'm just going to put it back on right now. So it is not for extended periods of time, but it is for long drives where it's going to really aid in the monotonous driving of keeping you centered. For instance, you still have to have your hands on, but it does work very well, and you can actually adjust on the steering wheel how far you go as well, and it's quite good. It doesn't bounce left and right. This is a big improvement from, you know, like about a decade ago. You know, some of those systems that Chrysler had, they kind of bounced from side to side, but not anymore at all. We're just tracking nice and true right now. Verdict. Performance-wise, I think it's very, very adequate, this 3.8-liter Pentastar. Once again, it's a little bit on the thirsty side. It says night vision unavailable, sensor blocked. Okay, I have night vision on right now. It is really raining right now. So if you're towing something, it would be a little bit thirstier as well, but extremely capable. If you do want more power, go for that 5.7-liter Hemi V8. Styling-wise, I think it looks good. What do you think of the looks?
Looks very rigid.
looks rigid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Outside.
It
From
looks,
outside.
It looks rigid. Okay. Yeah, I think it has a nice fresh style to it. I think it looks quite proportional, yet it still has that Jeep look as well.
Yeah, sharp angles, straight lines.
Value-wise, this Grand Cherokee L starts at about $59,000. And that's actually not much more than the regular Grand Cherokee. If it was between those two, I would definitely go with the L. It's not just a stretch version of the Grand Cherokee, like we mentioned. This is an all-new platform. This is all new interior, and yeah, it's around a few thousand or $5,000 difference, whatever, depending on how you outfit it. This Overland is very, very well equipped, and it comes in at about $77,000. Now remember, if you do want even more room and more capability, you might want to wait for the new Wagoneer and the Grand Wagoneer, but that's going to put you somewhere around $90,000 to $100,000. So that's going to be a real premium product, and we're going to have that actually in a few weeks to test drive. Next category, family approved. Hey, when you have extra room, you have second rows that slide back and forth, you don't have any arguing back there. How is it back there, girls? Good. Okay, we got two goods. Hey, that's all that we need. Yeah, lots of room back here. I like how the power seats work, the one-touch power seats. Great family vehicle, absolutely, for sure. Overall, I really like the direction Jeep is going. They're not just refreshing their products, they're coming up with new and innovative products, yet they're still staying to the core principles of Jeep. So this is, you really are getting a much more premium product here, yet you still have that roughness and ruggedness and the capability of a Jeep. Good job, Jeep. We're looking forward to that Wagoneer. That's it for our review of the Grand Cherokee L. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. Cynthia, what can they do?
Subscribe and thumbs up.
There you go. And next time, Cynthia will be driving the Wagoneer. All right.
Looking forward to
There you go. Don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next review. Ciao.